Hey everybody, so I'm gonna record this video, and I think after I record this video I'll upload it, and I may actually go live afterwards. And the video is in regards to should Christians participate in meme coins. And rather than trying to use scripture to make a for or against argument on whether Christians should participate in meme coins, I was asking God, this is like, how do I approach this? And I really feel like he just told me to tell my testimony. And so, as you know, I started making videos on this channel, I think over 4 years ago. Maybe we might even be creeping up on 5 years now, but at least 4 years ago, I think, is when I started this channel. And if you go and watch my very first video, I never thought it would even get to this point. I thought it would probably just be kind of hidden in the depths of YouTube and just maybe one or two people who God intended it to reach. That's who it would reach. And honestly, I'd be okay with that. But I want to share my testimony on how when I started this channel, it was about sharing dreams, visions, words that I believe God had spoken to me. And, in the past, I've talked about dreams I've had on XRP and Luna Classic and Silver, and then just other dreams that, had a prophetic meaning to them. And so I would openly share these things. And I noticed a lot of people would comment, I'd say mostly positive, and some people would even say they had confirmation in their own lives in pertaining to some of the dreams that I had shared. And I noticed a lot of people would start commenting on my videos and asking me about other coins that other believers had talked about, and what do I think about this, and what do I think about that. And I realized like there was this growing trend of what we now call the wealth transfer community. I know there's people who had posted things wealth transfer related before myself. So I know I'm not the first person to even be a part of this. And honestly, it's not even, I just want to share what I believe God wants me to share. So I noticed with time, it seemed like a lot of good intentions and also some not so good intentions started to follow around these various channels, various individuals. And, you could call it witchcraft, you could just call it people with ill intent trying to exploit opportunities for quick gain, quick profit, etc. And I even made friends with some people, various individuals, which I'm still friends with a few of them now, who I still talk to, just like small talk. We don't even really talk about this stuff, but we just, God allowed for that friendship to develop through, a YouTube relationship. And it was just really cool to see like some of my closest friends who I have to this day are people who God led into my life through starting this channel. Because had I not, I would have never met these people. So eventually I never wanted to post anything in vain. So if I wasn't receiving dreams and visions pertaining, that I thought were necessary to post on this channel, I just stopped posting. And I almost had about a 2 or 3 year hiatus where I was not posting anything. I think I went live a couple times, but really there wasn't a whole lot of substance. And I had decided to be in a quiet place because a lot of people would just try to tag me and be like, hey, have you seen this video? Have you seen what they said? And I was like, first off, guys, like I foster. So through this entire time, I've always had like 7, 8, 9 kids in my house. Like, yeah, I have kids of my own, but I'm a household of 10 or 11 at all times. And it is crazy, it is hectic. That is my calling. I'm walking in it. I love what I do. And it is also exhausting. So I did not, no, I don't have time to watch all these videos. And honestly, like, that's not, I feel like when you start chasing all these things, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that, blah, 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 like it really clouds your quiet time and your own thoughts, and you can almost introduce thoughts that may not be your own, and it can kind of cloud your judgment. So I completely unplugged to where like I refuse to watch other people's videos, trying to keep my mind as clear as possible. And then I noticed, certain individuals would reach out to me, and I kind of caught wind of some things going on where people were sharing things and to large audiences for quick self-gain. And I never addressed these people directly. I just distanced myself, didn't talk to them, and I'm not gonna name names because it's not really your business to guess who it is, because there are also some individuals who like I still talk to and like all is well. But I never wanted to be a stumbling block for people who may come across my channel. So I started trading on my own. I was curious, I had seen in the past, like I used the example of AMC, GME on the stocks, back when the meme stocks took off through Robinhood. And I'd always wondered, I was like, God, you knew all this was gonna happen, and surely like opportunities like this are available. And I started trading cryptocurrency, and I realized that if you look at the broader market of cryptocurrency in its current state, most of the on-chain volume is meme coins. And it's an attention economy. You're like, oh, well, that sounds like gambling. Well, then I started to ponder this, and you compare it to stocks, you compare it to any fad, any trend. Much of the global economy, in terms of entertainment, are fads, they are trends. Like there is money and attention and cultural, just cultural trends, right? Essentially memes, real life memes, circumstances, things that get people glued in, and because they're hyper focused on these things, it actually creates value because there's so much attention on them. And from a marketing standpoint, you see that like Dogecoin. Dogecoin was already a meme before it ever really went mainstream, and you could even say it was stagnant and did not really serve a purpose. It was, from my understanding, it was just a fork of Bitcoin. But then you saw Elon Musk, essentially, he was a big catalyst for Dogecoin. And he was also very strategic in promoting Dogecoin to where it was a very massive onboarding event, probably 2020, 2021, where people were buying Dogecoin. And I remember like being at my church, and there were people, literally, I could overhear them. They're like showing their phones on the Robinhood app, and they're like, yeah, Doge to $1. And you just have totally normal, regular people just saying, yeah, Doge to $1, Doge to $1. And it was a real thing where like people truly believe, hey, Dogecoin's going to $1, and you got one of the richest men on earth, super fan, fanatic of Dogecoin. So that was kind of like an eye-opening event for me, is like, okay, there really is something here that I don't know if you can call it necessarily gambling all the time, if there is an attention economy behind it. Like there's surely value, and that happens with like brands, anything. Like what really made Pokemon cards valuable? It was its ability to draw attention. And I've posted in the videos prior, like my mom didn't let me play Pokemon cards, but nonetheless, you see it now again with the trading cards aspect. These Pokemon cards, these first generation cards or whatever, are selling for 6-7 figures, and there's this crazy market behind these cards. these speculative assets where people have a perceived value, even though at the end of the day, it's just a card on a piece of paper with some ink and it's printed. Like, there is no real intrinsic value other than the perceived value that we give it. So then you translate that logic into meme coins, and it kind of clicked with me. It's like, no, there is value here. And so, you know, for about 3 years, I've been trading them. And I never talked about the coins I traded. I never posted videos. And honestly, like, I didn't have dreams on them anyways. But God gave me intuition and he blessed me. He blessed me immensely. Where that 3 years where I wasn't posting anything, I was in a pretty quiet place, and he completely changed the trajectory of my life through various coins, trades, opportunities. And I'm talking like, I started with $500, about what I started with when I started on this little journey. And at the end of it, which I guess it's not technically the end of it, because I still actually trade to this day, it allowed me to buy a house. It allowed me to pay off my vehicle. It allowed me to pay off most of my wife's student loans, you know, certain little credit card debt, certain things. I was able to buy like an at-home gym and, you know, do some things for my kids that I otherwise financially would not have been able to do. And that was because, one, God blessed it, but I really sought him on this. I was like, God, surely there is an opportunity here and I don't fully get it. And if this isn't for me, Lord, you know, shut the door, right? But quite the opposite. He allowed it. And I feel like a testimony is more powerful than trying to address an opinion on the matter. So what I can say is, like, through my faith and just trying, you know, the whole concept of casting your bread upon many waters, I do think that applies to this subject matter, and God blessed it, and God gets the glory, because it wasn't me. You know, someone was like, oh, you just got lucky. No, like, I truly sought the Lord on this, and he revealed several things to me, and he blessed it. And so for that, I am extremely grateful. However, I wondered, I was like, God, you know, like, how do you, like, was this just for me? Was this just something that you wanted to show me? Because these were things after the XRP dream, after dreaming about silver, after LUNC, all these things where I believe them. I believe what God showed me on those, that those are going to come to pass. But even in the waiting period of those things, you know, I wasn't idle. I was still just like, God, surely, like, there are opportunities. Surely there's something, because I just believe there is. And again, in this waiting period, he showed me something else that you wouldn't find on the Prophetic Money channel or some other YouTube person's channel. It is a very personal matter where he breathed on it. And so I had pondered this recently with a friend, and I called her, really nice lady. And I said, you know, like, how, like, and she knows my story. Like, she knows the success that God's given me through it. And she's one of my biggest fans. Like, she always hooting and hollering, praising the Lord. And I'll tell her, I'm like, hey, you want to hear some good news? And she was always there, and she was always reluctant to hear it, and really great friend. And I had another good friend who's a guy too. And we, you know, always in my corner, always cheering it on, you know, just God is good. Here's a word of encouragement. This is what God did for me, and he can do it for you. And I asked God, I was like, you know, like, how do we approach this? Because I know there were people sharing coins, you know, meme coins, and even going as far as saying, you know, thus saith the Lord, and giving a price target and declaring it, and even speaking in tongues and praying on a live stream and really coercing people. And then it was like every time they did one of these coins just died. And it was really disruptive to me as I'm hearing this through other people sharing this stuff. And I'm just like, is there any type of scenario where it's justified to share something in good faith where like, okay, no, I didn't have a dream on this. No, I didn't have a vision on this, but I do believe I heard his still small voice. I do believe there's an opportunity here. And the problem is when I first started this channel, I didn't have any subscribers. And I think after a week, maybe I had like 20 or 30 subscribers, but now I have a few thousand. And so I know people are gonna see videos, and I know there are people who watch my videos who absolutely despise me. There are some wicked people. If I showed you some of the emails I have, like I believe I've been under some spiritual warfare by witchcraft and other forces of darkness since even starting this channel. And then like these people watch your channel almost looking for an opportunity to exploit you. So it's like, how would I even go about sharing something without it being weaponized against the very people who I would hope it would bless? And I'll use the example of God, and I'll just use some testimony of some coins that I had purchased when I was trading, and it was on the Solana blockchain. God showed me dog with hat at a 100,000 market cap. I bought dog with hat at a 100,000 market cap. That coin went to 5 billion. And I did the math on it, and that from when I had bought it to where it went, it increased 50,000 times. No, I didn't hold it all the way. And I was so early to the coin. I had no idea what it was gonna ever even turn into. And how would you? Okay, so then one of my next coins, I bought PopCat. I was in PopCat at 500,000 market cap. PopCat ended up going to 2 billion. That's like a 4,000 increase from where I saw it, 4,000 times increase from when I had got in. Now, I had been blessed through that coin. God had really blessed that trade for me. I didn't hold it all the way. But again, it was changed the trajectory of my life. But I never shared it on this channel. I didn't know how to. How would you share it? How would you share a conviction on a coin like that? And was I even supposed to share it? Okay. After that, there was, I think, GME, or maybe it was before PopCat. I think GME was after. There was GME, the GameStop meme coin on Solana. And there was a group of people, and I saw it early, and their whole thesis was, we're going to flip the stock. Well, they didn't flip the stock, but they were convincing enough that it had a very convincing rally to where people did believe it was going to flip the stock. God used that coin, he blessed me, completely changed the trajectory of my life. And there's various other coins where like I got in early and I never shared it on this channel, and maybe I wasn't supposed to. And I pondered that, and I'm like, how do I even go about this? Why am I even sharing my testimony here? And I want to tie it at least into Luna Classic, into XRP. Luna Classic seems like an almost impossible thing in the natural of what it's going to do. And I looked at the current price before this video, and I looked at one of my main price targets that I'd seen in a dream was that it went to 10 cents. And for it to go to 10 cents today would be about a 2,000 times increase. I wanted to share my testimony with you because I have witnessed and I have been a part of that type of increase. And so it's not as hard for me anymore to even fathom like God can do it. I've witnessed this in my life. Like he can do a 2,000 times increase. He can do a 10 times increase. He can do 100 times. He can do a 2 times increase. He can do whatever increase he has for you. Yeah, okay, Luna Classic, for it to go to that ideal price target without any catalyst where they would burn the coins and Binance and all the people who are holding massive supply on this coin, without any catalyst to offset that numbers and just at its current valuation and its current supply, for it to go to 10 cents, it would be around a 600 to 700 billion market cap, which is right about twice what Ethereum is at, the entire network of Ethereum, and at its current price, and or what Ethereum was at its all-time high, somewhere around there. So for Luna Classic to go to a 10-cent range or higher without any burns, it would need to match the market cap of Ethereum at its all-time high. And to me, really, like, after seeing what I've seen, like, that's really not that far-fetched. And I don't have to wonder what's gonna drive that. But at least for me, with what I've shared, I believe it. I still believe it. Yes, I still believe it. No, I'm not gonna post a Luna Classic video every day because, again, like, if I don't have a dream on it, like, I'm almost just talking in vain. I don't personally feel called that I have to keep posting a video for you to keep the faith. And meanwhile, many people aren't going to see it go to those numbers anyways, because they will have given up on it. They will have already sold. So it's not my job to explain myself and what I believe and how it's going to happen, but I do believe it's going to happen. I also do believe that there are opportunities in meme coins. I really don't know how to approach sharing things, because if I were to share a coin, a small meme coin, right? Like, for example, if I had shared PopCat at a 500K market cap, yeah, I might cause a small pump on it, and someone would see it and they would look at a quick profit opportunity and they'd sell it, right? And for the traders, they would call me a KOL. They would just call me a false Christian. They'd say, oh, you're just a key opinion leader and you're just doing this to pump your bags, whatever. No, that is not how I see it. And I fearfully try to be obedient to the Lord and to share with him what he wants me to share. I still don't know if I will ever share a meme coin that I'm in that I have not had a dream on, because I still don't know what the perfect answer is for that. But there is that side of me that wishes, like, you know, God, like, I wish I could have used it, but I can also trust your plan because you have exactly what you want in place for everyone who you intend it for. So I think that's my rant for now. I'm going to upload this video. I hope it encourages you guys, one, those who are holding Luna Classic, those who've been following this channel. And I hope it inspires you to realize, like, you can go off on your own path and you don't need validation through these channels, through my channel, through a channel that clips all of the prophetic channels, all these things. You can go and seek it for yourself, and you can trust that God has good plans for you. And if it's not for you, he still has good plans for you in a different direction. But it is really disheartening for me to see that there are people who are searching all these channels all the time, and, you know, you really wonder, like, do you ever spend alone time and just ask him? Because he's always speaking. He's always speaking. I do believe meme coins are going to go to obnoxious heights again. And I will say this because Robinhood now has their own chain that's like kind of some type of bridge through Ethereum. I don't fully understand all the jargon to explain that, but I know that Robinhood is really setting up all these rail waves for a massive meme coin season, whether it's organic or not. There is massive amounts of money on the sidelines through large firms who have been plotting the next meme coin season, because back in 2020, 2021, their test trial area was the Shiba Inus, the Doge coins, the Safe Moons. Those coins, it was kind of like a concept of, would people buy into this? And yes, people will buy into it. Well, you know, we've been in a bear market for 2 years, but now we have Pump Fund, we have all these launch pads, we have all these places where anyone can be a developer, or some people call them a deployer, and you can launch your own coins, or you can buy brand new coins. And clearly there's a very vast market, and the powers that be have an intention to pump these markets again. I am aware some people have said, oh, the meme coin market is going to be the biggest crash ever. And, you know, sure, like eventually when things go up, they come down. But what I am saying is all the data is there telling us that they are going to do it again. And I do believe there are opportunities for people, for God to just breathe on a small investment to entirely change the trajectory of your life. I firmly believe that. I know it's not for everyone, but I do firmly believe that. So I'm gonna leave this video there. I'm going to upload this video, and then I think I'm gonna go live, and I'm going to try to answer some questions. You guys have a good night. God bless.